So, after doing an entire series worth, I realized that I don't think we actually ever properly introduced ourselves. So,
Huh.
my name is
Guess
Ray.
you're
You may know me better as RayDaug if you've run into me anywhere on the internet.
And my name is Shelby. I run a blog called Whining About Yuri, where I complain about women never doing anything, pretty much. We've both had a long battle against anime. We've kind of run into each other from that. And we've been friends ever since. It's been very magical.
True friendship is born through bad anime.
It's
Hope-
true, though.
Hopefully, this one's not bad, though. We're here this time with Madlax, a series that Shelby sold me on. Tell me about
Madlax
B Train.
B Train was way, way back. I believe in 1997. They started off as originally a group of ex-Tatsunoko studio employers. They made a made for themselves with the show Noir, which was kind of a big sell in that it had dark, gritty girl action, but actually starring female protagonists in a sort of genre that was usually kind of exclusively dominated by men, because this was originally released in the early 2000s. They've honestly kind of kept that up in their studio ever since, and this is actually the big sequel successor to that. It's honestly kind of more of an answer to Noir in the first place, so it's kind of working on the assumption that you were here for it at first, and oh yeah, it's weird. That's another thing.
Yeah, I I
So
I had heard of Noir and I watched a tiny bit of it, not a whole lot. Um, I've had a lot of people scream at me that I should probably watch it, and I will eventually. But the thing that I always hear about B Train the most is girls with guns.
they are pretty much the ones that codified it as a genre, and they did make it the cool thing for most of the early noughts. In fact, I think they pretty much were the predecessors. Like, Noir was pretty much a complete overnight success. It was one of the first things that they actually put out there, and it was just completely shot off. So, this is kind of made in the heyday about 3 years later. It's kind of like I said, a bit of an answer to what they were originally doing, which was, girls, guns, dark, gritty, real world adventures, tons of fake existentialism, and lots of really weird implied subtext with women that kind of just goes nowhere. It's gotten a fan, as you can see, it's kind of gotten a very culty fan base as a result of that.
Yeah, my only experience with the girls with guns genre is Black Lagoon, and I like Black Lagoon a whole lot. And I'm looking forward to Madlax, where, as you know, with Want to Be the Strongest, I could tell going in that this is going to be some hot garbage. This seems like it could be something, and from hearing from you, it actually is.
That's one thing that I will, that pomp. My God, look at him. That pomp. Yeah, the one thing I say against Betrayed is that their character designs can be kind of but really kind of what makes Madlax a sell to me. Noir actually made sense at the end of the day. Madlax doesn't. It will not make
Great,
sense at all. It's
I'm
the whole
already on board.
like you may not believe me when I say this, but this whole series is pretty much a 26 episode long flashback, more or less. The plot will reveal.
Oh
That, that
man,
that's how weird it's gonna be. Also, like, if you're asking what nation we're even in right now, no, nobody knows. I
they
think
I watched the first episode just as a sampler, just to get my bearings on the series, just to see if there's something that we could work with. And they do name it, and it has like the pseudo Eastern European name, but it's like looks like it's patterned after like some sort of like Cambodia style
it's sort of like
nation.
Palestine, Cambodia, warlordish.
It's like
I think
Cambodia,
there's
but everyone's white and vaguely Russianish.
and have amazing red hats.
Also, look at that
And
man's cheekbones.
well, something's got to cup that giant radio. The great floppy disk.
Take this 3.5 inch drive that will totally survive the battlefield and won't break instantly.
It'll contain about a 16th of the data that will turn this war around. How'd you miss that tank, bro?
These are all the Doom maps that I made. You have to protect them.
Also, another thing about B Train is that there's girls with guns, and then there's border natural super insane abilities. Like in Noir, we pretty much had like a girl who could kill people with sunglasses, toy trains, popcorn. It's like the MacGyver of death.
I really should watch Noir.
You should. It's and like somehow they managed to make their protagonist Madlax take that a step further, as you're going to see in later episodes. I think that's pretty much how I managed to sell it to you. Just like, man, this made no sense. I remember you saying, but then that last bit of it.
Yeah, there's some stuff at the end of this episode that really got me on board. But one thing I've noticed about our protagonist, Madlax, is that at least thus far, she's always looks vaguely bemused. Is pasta gonna be her vodka?
It probably is. It comes up a lot.
Do you know vodka is Russian for water?
Ah!
You should have seen that coming a mile away.
Man, like this is like some episode episodic just great story about man's inhumanity to man, and I'm just all like, that butt chin. It just doesn't move as he moves.
The real war crime is that man's face. Also, apparently, they still get paid in gold doubloons. Alright, so we've got, like, a Cambodia jungle. We've got, like, the Russian military. There's apparently a king. What is
People
this
have been like,
conflict even about?
people have been speculating that for years, man.
Does this just go away after this episode?
Not quite, but I don't think you ever see the king, so he just kind of is sort of there. If memory serves, the whole way this nation works is kind of never really explained.
One thing I noticed though is that even though this is an older series, well, I mean, a lot of time the age of a
Mm-hmm.
series doesn't really matter in this regard, but it's not it's a nice looking series. Like
It is. I
the
mean, I think that's actually one of the things that really put noir on the map is back in like the dying age or like that awkward transition between hand painted cells and digital things. They actually had the best. They had a very simple, stylized way of doing it. They had pretty consistent animation. So I think that's kind of one of the big things that really kept them on the map and certainly helped out their start.
like
And there's a lot of really awkward CGI in this one, but otherwise
oh
they
yeah,
tend to
great.
have a. There's so much awkward CGI. Like,
I mean, the color palette's a bit muted for my taste, but that could just be this episode when Cambodia stan.
not to mention, like, our totally not gonna die dude protagonist is named Pete, just to further confuse things.
Yeah, Pete with the pompadour, like the Cambodian rebel.
Well, I see no reason not to trust this lady.
Thank you, strange lady, for helping me not fall for the oldest trick in the book.
Those garbage bag pants, though.
Yeah, that fire does not look very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, I hope those guys don't look over to their left and look at the shining mirror in the sunlight.
Come only suffocating here, lady. Maybe they're just. Why'd they pick the slowest and stupidest guys to guard the back door where anyone would obviously enter? And, like, only two.
No, they were just surprised. They're like, oh, a pretty lady. Blat.
To be fair, I mean, like, the fact that, like, Madlax is, like, impossibly hot. See right there, like.
So it's a plot point, is what you're saying.
It comes up. To be fair, she wins a lot of fights by it, so play the cards with you're dealt with.
That's
Nope. Don't reveal that name till the end, lady.
To be fair, if my name was Madlax, I'd try to make sure the fewest people knew it as possible too.
And, like, there are palm trees, which I think is more of a coastal thing, and... She knew not to shoot them in the helmet. God, what skill. I have no idea who this guy is.
I think this is the guy that got the gold doubloons.
Sell out your friends for gold doubloons.
So I'd do it.
And some...
I've seen those commercials about the value of gold. It only goes up.
This perfect romance walkie in the middle of a battlefield. Your pomp, man. I could see it from a mile away.
They're probably super dead.
With my one little handgun.
Like, she just looks just completely not interested in anything he's saying.
Yeah, she's just... Man, I'm tired.
I want spaghetti.
Cool. What, does it have Oregon Trail on it? Whoa, Nelly. I love how, like, you can literally see the seam and when the episode stops making sense.
It's just like a hard cut.
Yeah, so about that amazing CGI we were talking about.
Speaking of amazing things, if you couldn't tell by now, this is a Kaijura series.
Actually, that's the interesting thing. Another thing that B Train has as its claim to fame is that this is how Kaijura broke into the market. This is kind of how we were introduced to a lot of her, and she was their house composer for most of its heyday. Since she did do the Noir soundtrack, she did the Dot Cat sign, which is like the other big, amazing, important thing that the studio did, and she did all of the sequel Girls with Guns, this being no exception. Some would even go as far as saying that this is one of her wildest. Because, I mean, she had a lot of acid to work with. Anyway, this is when the show starts getting great. Just good thing I have my cocktail dress of action.
Why did she bring it?
It fit.
Just in case?
Well, I mean, like, if she's already hitting on guys, like, maybe she really is just like, well, push comes to shove, I might get a date out of this.
Yeah, see, they're
Gotta
super
be prepared.
dead.
Whoa. They did take out the trash. All things considered, it's amazing how far he got when they're like all armed with semi-automatics.
Yeah, they were so like he was so not threatening that the guy couldn't even be bothered to scramble behind cover.
Dude, cut that out.
Let me put my shoe on first.
Oh shit.
All right, here we go.
Somebody turned on the ominous chanting. You know what that means, boys and girls. Also, the sun's setting, my god. I love how bored that guy is. Just like, oh my god, look!
And she doesn't even have to look while... This is so stupid. It's great.
I know, right? And it's gonna get even better from here. She
brought heels with her, too.
Man, I think that's kind of why this army is losing. They're just really easily distracted.
Cleavage, where?
And like she's just doing this with like a handgun. She's like,
oh yeah, she has like one handgun, like, and she's just taking out an entire convoy and a tank. I mean, now granted, I watched Kenshiro punch a tank until it exploded, but
still, man, like this is
see, like, this is why you gotta go get a new dress now. Like, you could have just, it was fine. You were
like, you just stick to your shorts.
Also, what's with your aim, dude? She was posing for like a minute.
Bullets must just literally dodge her.
The real reason they've been losing is that they've all been fighting with blanks this whole time. She's the only one that thought to bring real bullets. Also, where did he get shot?
The soul?
Because, like, the last shot implied that he got shot in the head.
Yeah, but his face is in one piece.
His jaw is just too strong.
All right, now I might actually need to upgrade. This is a helicopter.
Also, that's in a French automatic... Yeah, cradle the gun, baby.
Yeah, I think 2 ought to do it. Vavoom!
And then the strap falls just a little bit.
Whatever gets the job done. You missed the most awesome thing.
I was so cool. You should have seen it. Yet I still went back and needlessly sacrificed myself to save the dirtbags who were already dead.
Man, the tragedy of humanity. Well, they were doubloons. Oh, well.
Weird, you think a guy with a pompadour would be rolling in ladies.
To be fair, I think this entire populace is like inhabited by men. I don't think I've ever seen an actual woman in Garth Sonica. Man, that's fast.
I I don't understand why they're trying so hard to hide her name. Because it's the title of the show. And they already said half of it.
Well, guess she just had to dump his body somewhere.
Just kick him out of the car. You already have the disc. I guess now we said it, we can just say it whenever.
Yep.
It's like Voldemort.
And man, like a bummer, you can like take out an entire army with like a hand pistol and you can't even afford a decent apartment in the not neon green section of the town.
She does have a nice suite of cocktail dresses, apparently, though.
Maybe that's what constantly puts her under.
She has to replace them all because she keeps changing into them for no reason in the middle of battle.
And yet she only seems to have one combat outfit. Yeah, that was weird. Not as weird as this, though. Just bunch of naked ladies taking a swim in a margarita glass. And no, there'll never will be any context to make this any sense.
Don't you get it? It's symbolism. That's how symbolism works, right? You can just shove whatever disparate imagery onto the screen as you want, and then just say that it means something without actually thinking about the way you constructed the scene.
Hey, I mean, it's naked chicks and booze, man. Like, can you lose? Though, of all the things that bug me, it's just that one girl who's kind of hanging off the cherry stem, just because it looks like that she got impaled. Like, there was like a tiny person with a toothpick thrown through her. I don't know why that, of all things, like, no, I'm fine with, like, everybody just kind of swimming around in fetal positions and probably half of these girls being underage, but that's where I draw the line.
Half is being charitable. I'd say probably more like 2/3.
Yeah. Speaking of that, this is one of those series where I don't even need booze. That's pretty impressive.
Up next on Madlax, we'll be introduced to the other main character that's in the opening.